and in such a way that I'm really excited about it. So I think it's going to be super cool and have some really great benefits for all of you so much. It's going to be amazing. So let's go ahead and we're going to get things started up here. Just wanted to make sure that this is showing live on Facebook as we're going. And let's see what we can do here. Make sure this is live. Looks like it is. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Looks like we got Baltimore, we got Vancouver on. Hey, Kathy, how are you? And we got Mallory, Mary Mallory. Probably said that wrong. Harold's on. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Welcome tonight. Tonight's this is normally actually with Mr. Ed Terranova, and but he had a emergency he had to go take care of, and so he asked me if I would step in and help out. So I thought, you know what, I would love to. I would love to. So anytime you can help somebody out, it's always a good thing. So all right, we're almost at the top of the hour. I just want to make sure it looks like we're live and going well on Facebook. So as we speak, so that's a good thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and yeah, Dale, I know you're seeing me on Facebook again. So anyway, just filling in here, and we're going to go ahead and get started, teach you some things that I think are really valuable. So again, filling in for Mr. Ed Terranova, and you know, I got to tell you, that guy's an absolute amazing trainer, and brings the value all the time. So I just wanted to come on tonight because he asked me to fill in. We just, please, before we move on, please put your prayers and thoughts and hearts out to the Terranova family. They definitely need it with their grandbaby. So if you would, that would be great. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started here. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me resume the recording. There we go. And I'll move my bar here out of the way. And I'm just going to keep it on this page if that's okay for you guys. Showing you my screen. Hopefully you can see that. Drop in the comments if you can see it. I hope you can. Actually, I'll go ahead and blow it up so we can see the full screen. That might help better. Okay, so starting off, setting up your Facebook profile. Let me kind of preface everything with this, you guys. There's not one way to do anything. But I will say this, that there are the right ways of doing things. And I see it every day on Facebook with different people, not necessarily just with our network, but with any company where people are out there marketing their products, their services, and things like that. And to be frank with you guys, I again, not saying that there's only one way of doing things, but the people that are the most successful on Facebook have learned to do the right things the right way. And I personally have had success myself building on Facebook with a network marketing company, and within about 2 years, within that 2-year period, built it up to a 6-figure income solely off of Facebook, at least 90% of it. And so I want to kind of share with you some of those things that I learned, and I'm going to kind of go through this fairly fast because the meat and potatoes is after all this. But I want to start off with this right here, and this is probably one of the very most important things that you can do. Think of it from this perspective. If you were actually going to go and apply for a job somewhere, I want you to ask yourself, what would your resume look like? Would it be wadded up and have wrinkles through it? Would it not be presentable? Would it have a coffee spill on it? What would it look like? And that's exactly what your Facebook profile should look like. Is it should be professional. It should be something that when people see it, and when I say professional, not businessy, but professional from the look and feel of it. So I'm using mine as an example here. This was actually, I was helped putting this together in my early stages of social media, just saying, look, put a family picture, put something that you're happy with. Don't put just a quote up there, because that doesn't mean that's really you. I would put a picture of your family, maybe a favorite vacation you took. It doesn't have to be this perfect photo, It could be something that's just having fun and doing whatever, right? It's kind of showing who you are. And then your profile picture, little round one here, that little round circle picture, that needs to be a picture at least of you, if not you and your spouse or fiance or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, doesn't matter. But that needs to be you, because it cannot be your dog, your cat, your horse, because it's not you. So think of it from that perspective. And this will help you on everything that we're going to talk about tonight on how to generate leads on Facebook. This is going to this is the cream. This right here is the magic. And if you don't do this right, I promise you, you're marketing the wrong way and you look salesy. You look like you're trying to sell something and people read right through you. So I want you to look at my intro. My intro just says I'm a humanitarian entrepreneur. That's who I am. And I'm a family man. I'm a mentor. I do have a fan page, so I can say, hey, follow me on my fan page. So tell people to do that instead of maybe follow me on my profile all the time. Now, my profile is not going to say much more than that. It might say that I'm married or, what have you. And I think it actually does on my actual profile. But the whole point of this is I'm building up my profile to look like a resume. So when I go to the next few slides here in a second, you'll understand why this is such an important part. All right. Setting up your profile is important. Like I said, you can see how I've got on there that I'm my own CEO. I don't say that I work for our network. I don't say that I have this other business name. I don't have any of that stuff. And the reason I'm not is I'm not on Facebook marketing for our network. That's not your job. We're going to market our network without you. So you don't need to market our company, but here's what you need to understand. You should be marketing you, branding you as the individual that wants to build their business, right? And the reason for that, you guys, is this. Let's say, for example, that our network went away tomorrow, or you're in skin lotion, potion, and pill program, and it went away tomorrow. Well, if you're marketing that company, just like what you see over here, this person put on here that they're in Rodan and Fields. Well, guess what your prospects are going to do? They're going to click on Rodan and Fields, and guess what? They're going to go check it out. Oh, it's MLM. They're just trying to sell something. See how she's got Boss Babe and all this other stuff? I just wouldn't even go there. Not on your profile. Not on your profile. You can build your profile. Even my profile you see on here, I don't really like it. I got rid of it eventually, right? I didn't do that anymore. It's okay, but I still didn't want it because it's too salesy with it, right? So I got rid of that a while ago. But you can see, though, on my profile, how I've got my name. I'm self-employed. I went to college, whatever, right? Those are the kind of things that you want to have on your profile so that you can bring people into you and they want to get to know you because you look normal. You look, you look like you should be looking like, okay? So enough about that. Don't put your company name. Don't put your replicated site. Don't put your funnel on there. Don't do any of that kind of stuff. You can have your bio and all that kind of stuff, but don't be too salesy. And just remember that no pictures of your dog or cat or something silly. Okay. Unless you're holding it, then that's different. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Let's move on. Get organized. If you're going to market on Facebook, you got to be quick to the punch. You got to have everything organized in your phone. So what do? I actually have a notes on my computer, on my phone, that I use as my go-to location. Now you might do something different, but I use the notes on my iPhone, and I know right where to go. And I can come in here and go, okay, I've got a Facebook group message. So I click on that button, and it's got my message all typed out, ready to go, maybe with a link attached to it, whatever. And the beautiful thing about that, guys, I can be at my son's baseball game, or I can be at my daughter's dance recital. I could be cooking dinner. I could be at my job, and I don't have a lot of time to put into the business. I can hurry and copy, paste, and send it off as a message to somebody if needed, right? Or a post I'm going to make, whatever. But organize yourself. If you look at the middle one, you'll see that I have all the important groups that I visit all the time. One of them being Our World, which we're going to talk about tonight and how that ties in. But understand that by doing this, organizing yourself, by setting up your menu in your phone on Facebook to have all the quick links that you want to get to. I like to set those up as my favorites, right? So that you can get to them as quick as you possibly can. Okay, let's move on. Next, Facebook marketing. What is the psychology? Oh my goodness. What's the psychology in Facebook. Why did you join Facebook? Ask yourself that question. When you ask yourself, why did I join Facebook? It was not to go selling. That was not initially what the psychology of Facebook was. It was simply this. The reason that people joined Facebook was to reconnect with people. Be human, not a marketer. Before you're a marketer, you have to be human. So, but you can build business on Facebook. In fact, it's one of the fastest growing in the industry is Facebook social media marketing right now. And you can do it, even if you're not an influencer, but you're not going to have people reaching out to you like you if you were this massive influencer in initial stages. It will take some time to get to the point when you'll have people start reaching out to you. And I'll show you, though, how that can work. This example right here, this is called spamming on Facebook. When you go to your profile and you say, hey, guys, have a minute, please listen to this and let me know what you think. Well, they know you're going to try to sell something. It says right there, June 13th, opportunity call. Guess what that means? They're going to say, oh, yeah, you're trying to sell me something. You're coming across as you're selling rather than telling stories to attract people. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about stories and how important it is for you to start telling stories and not selling. It's where the world's going. It's where everything's happening on social media. And I promise you, it will change your whole entire business will change this way. So we asked why we joined. We get annoyed from different companies, different people posting different posts. Here's a post right here. Here's a couple examples of posts. Do not do these posts. Don't take your product of any kind or your service, post pictures of it all over Facebook, trying to sell something to somebody. Think about that, you guys. If you're pushing product on people, you're going to get friends that go, I'll be friends with them, but I'm just going to unfollow their posts. I'm just not going to be, I'm not going to have to see their post anymore. They can choose to do that. Yes. And then you might have 5,000 friends and only 4 of them are following you every day. Think about that. Nobody wants to be sold anything. Everybody wants to buy things when they choose to buy things. So allow that process to take place. All right. So don't go out there and post things like this on Facebook expecting to get a return. You might initially, for maybe 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 friends or something like that, might initially say, oh yeah, hey, I'd love to lose weight, or hey, I would love to, have better skin, or I would love to save money on travel, or I would love to save money in, our new shoe store, whatever. The bottom line is when you're posting pictures like this, it's very salesy and it shuts down, it puts this wall up. And then for me, when I see them on Facebook, I just scroll right past them. I don't even look at them anymore. It doesn't even interest me because they're not interesting. Facebook was meant to connect with my friends and family. Think about that. All right. Keep that in the forefront. Here's what to do. Good marketing is creating a story behind what you're doing. So when you go and share something about your products and your service or any types of things like that, don't share what the product is. Don't say, here's what it is or the service, but share what the product has done for you. What did it do for you? Tell the story behind it. So I want you to really look at this right here, okay? Think about this. Salespeople I'm just going to tell you right now, guys, network marketing is not a sales business. I'm just telling you right now, it's a different type of sales business. And so when you're looking at this, I want you to realize that we're not trying to sell, we're telling stories. Why do you think when we're kids that when we're teaching us, they're teaching us through stories? Why do you think the Bible teaches in stories? It's because guess what? We'll attract to the story because we can start to relate to it. So look at this post here. This is an example. I just hurried through this together as maybe an example of what you could do. Loving my new shoes. Put a little title, have some fun with it, hashtags, whatever. Then I said, so my wife and I were shopping for some shoes she really wanted. And a friend told me about this really cool app that was totally free to get my name brand shoes and get a discount and cash back. I was like, what? And I said, where's this app? So my friend sent it to me, this really cool app, and way better than I thought that it was going to be. And I saved money and I got cash back is what it's supposed to say. Sorry, I noticed it didn't go all the way down. But here's my point. Look at the image that I put up. Does it have our network on it? No. Does it have anything about our global mall? No. Does it have anything about my skincare business? No. Does it have anything to do with anything but buy one, get one half off? Think about this for a minute. This is how you're going to turn this into hundreds and hundreds of leads. Follow me on this, you guys. This is super cool. Super cool. Follow me. Now, here's how we got to generate the leads. Very simple. First of all, you want to go out and join a bunch of different groups, because let's just say on Facebook right now, you didn't have 5,000 friends, which is the top number you can have as friends on Facebook. Now, what you do is go out and join some groups that you are interested in. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that you have a genuine interest in that group. Maybe you love to sew. Maybe you love to go sailing. Maybe you love photography like I do. So I go join photography groups, and I see these posts that these different photographers are doing, and I'm liking it. I'm commenting. I'm actually commenting about the picture or the aperture that they used or whatever about that photograph, that post. And by doing this, I'm actually, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually adding value to that person. And I'm thanking them for sharing their knowledge with me, complimenting them. And this is something that I would spend probably 10 minutes a day doing. 10 minutes. Go join some groups, make some comments, like, boom, 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 boom. No invites as friends right off the bat. You cannot do that. You will push them so far away, they will never follow you. And I promise you something, guys. Many, many people in this business in network marketing, because raise your hand if you've done this, ran into a wall and said, I've already contacted all my friends and family. I don't know who else to talk to anymore. I'm out of people to talk to. Well, guess what? That's not true. I'm going to tell you, it's not true. This is how you build additional leads to talk to, and I'm getting there to show you what I mean by that. Number two, after a few days, maybe you have started some conversation inside those posts, inside of some group that you're involved in. After a few days, you can send them a friend request if they haven't already done so. But here's what you got to look at, you guys. Remember when I said about your Facebook profile and how important it was to have that set up properly? This is a funnel to funnel people right into you to start friending you. So when you're looking on Facebook in the morning, you've got like 100 or 50 or 20 or 10 brand new friends that are actually asking you to friend them and accept their friend request. Let me give you some advice. It's not always wise to bring on every single person that's on your team already as a friend. You can have your team on. I'm just saying it's not wise to just friend everybody in our network, because when you do, who are you marketing to? Ask yourself, who am I marketing to if all my friends on Facebook are people that are already in the business? So it's smart not to. I know a lot of you have friended me and I have not friended you back, and I apologize, but I don't apologize. Let me tell you why. Because if I'm going to market on Facebook, I'm not going to go marketing to the people that are already in our network. Think about that. So don't go make friends with a bunch of people in your business that are already existing. It doesn't make sense. So anyway, that's just my own perspective. The goal every day is to add 3 to 5 people a day to your friends list, right? I look at these as prospects, because I'm going to market to them, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, to create that draw, so that all of a sudden you got 100 people to talk to daily that are coming in, and you don't have enough time in the day to get back to those people. I keep looking at different places because I'm actually broadcasting this somewhere else too. But here is the deal. I want you to really think about this. Example, here you go. So this is if you are requesting them as a friend. Hey, Bob, how are you? And this is through Messenger, by the way. I'm messaging them because I'm going to message them first and say, hey, Bob, how are you? I've sent you a friend request, right? So how are you? It's great connecting with you. That's all I'm saying. So now Bob's going to come back and say, oh, hey, Dave, good to connect with you. I saw you in the photography group. We get some combination going back and forth. Yep. Great. Later on, I'm going to come back to Bob, not at that moment, but later on, I'm going to come back. people generally run faster than the prospect does. Follow me on this. People tend to run faster than the prospect does. So when I add somebody as a friend, and then I connect and he connects back with me through Messenger, and we're sitting there chatting for a second about photography, and then all of a sudden I drop bomb on him and say, hey, you want to check out my business? Guess what happens? Unfriend, bye, see you later, gone, no more lead. So I have to build that relationship. This is a relationship business that I have to build so that they'll want to be my friend, right? So how do I do that? I got to add value to their life. I got to add value to them. So here's how I do that. Again, before we move on to that, these are people requesting me now because I've added a bunch of people over time. I've started commenting and liking them in the groups, and they now come back to me and say, hey, and then I say to them, hey, Mary, great connecting with you. What brings you to my Facebook group, my Facebook page? And if there's any small talk or whatever, it's good to kind of go back and forth on recording. I love the recorder to record my voice, talking to them through chat, because one, they get to hear my sincerity and my realness, my authenticity. I love that part of it rather than texting, because sometimes mixed emotions come across texting, and it might seem like you're kind of shoving it down the throat when you're really not, or you're trying to be aggressive and you're not, that type of thing. So think about that when you're responding back to somebody's friend request. If you notice, every time somebody friends you, you get a message on Messenger that says, you can now say hi to this friend. That's why you want to go to Messenger and send them a quick message and say, hey, thanks for connecting with me. What brings you to my page? If they asked you. If you ask them, you say the opposite of that. Hey, Bob, great connecting with you. Hope you had a fantastic day today. Boom, done. Now, if there's some small talk, nothing about business. Now, start liking on their feed, on their Facebook feed. Start liking and commenting on their own personal pictures and their posts that they're posting. Don't get into politics with them. Don't get into religion with them. Don't get into that kind of stuff. But if you see a picture, if I see Bob and he's out in Hawaii now, and he posted a beautiful picture that he took in Hawaii, I might go, gosh, Bob, what a beautiful photo. Did you shoot that with your phone, or did you shoot that with what camera did you shoot that with? Whatever, if it's somebody from my photography business, right? So that's what you got to think about, is how you're going to interact with them, right? So start liking, commenting on their feed. Then all of a sudden what happens is that trust level, those barriers come down, because you're now connecting through social media as a human before you're a marketer. So hopefully this is actually making sense. If you're listening on Facebook, drop in the comments. If you're listening here on this Zoom, go ahead and drop in the comments if this is making sense, so I can know that you're hearing me and that you're still tuned in with me here. So, okay, guys, I promise you, I know this in and out. If you will actually do what I share with you, you will see a difference in the way that things go for you. Okay, so here's the next step. So now that you've been adding 3 to 5 friends a day, you've been posting on Facebook every day, and here's what you want to be posting. You want 80% of your content. This means out of 7 days, 5 of those days, you're actually posting stuff like family, friends, humor, motivational thoughts, things that add value to your friends. Things that add value to your friends. Make humor jokes like I did. I put up the roll of toilet paper, it was gone. I said, oh, dang, crap. That's all I said. But some of the other simple things that I've done in the past are really simple. Things like this. Where is your dream vacation? Where is your dream vacation destination? I got 122 comments that were going back and forth. I did another one where it said, describe yourself in 3 words. I'm having fun with this. Facebook, by the way, Facebook loves this kind of stuff because it creates interaction, which is what Facebook was meant to do, not sell. It was never meant to sell. It was meant to create interaction with your people. So if you're out there slamming people about Facebook or about rNetwork and the product and the business and all that, you eventually are going to hit a wall and nobody's liking your posts. And then they're just going, I'm not even interested. All he's trying to do is sell me something. So remember, 80%, this is how you transfer into business, right? 80% of your posts, non-business related, all about your family, motivation, heartwarming stories, quizzes, stuff like I posted there, how-to guides to support different content, maybe you're really, really good at farming. Maybe you're really, or not farming, I don't know. Maybe I got a good friend. I'll tell you this. I got a good friend. He's actually very good at concrete work. And I know it sounds really silly, but there's times, right? There's times when all of a sudden I might want to pour a patio in my backyard. Well, if I knew that one of my friends, Ryan, does cement work, I could actually get back to him because he's actually maybe shared 20% of the time, which is what you're going to see next, his business, right? His business thing. So here's what he does when he does business. He tells a story behind it. He posts a live video showing how to set up before you pour a patio. Think about this. He's adding value to his followers. Now my friend Ryan is also in a network marketing company, but he's doing this as a living for concrete. So while he's out on the job site, he's showing how he does his forms, how he gets it ready for doing a sidewalk, a small sidewalk to my garbage cans, whatever, right? Something that can add value to his followers. Think about this. Just really put this down. I know I'm getting crazy because it's been a long day and I'm super pumped. But here's the thing. All I'm going to tell you, if you don't get engagement on social media, you're absolutely doing it wrong. That means that if you're not getting enough likes and comments, guess what? You're doing something wrong. What's the number for likes and comments? I don't know, but think about this. If you're not getting people that when you post something, they're not liking it, they're not commenting, there's no sharing going on, you're probably doing it wrong. So that means you need to really evaluate what you've been doing. So 80% do this, 20% of the time, you're now going to start to talk about the business. Now, that doesn't mean you're coming out posting all about our network and what our network is, and I made all this money in our network. Guess what, guys? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And it kind of goes back to my buddy that's the cement worker. Think about this. He's doing a live. He just did this. That's why I'm using an example, but he just did a live on showing how to build a patio, and he was building it for a contractor. So he had a guy filming him doing how he was laying it out and all that kind of stuff, prepping the ground, all these things. And he was showing it. And it was just like this 10 by 10 pad type of thing. And anyway, my point is, I want a pad so I can put a hot tub on it. So I've been thinking about trying to do it myself because it's cheaper, right? Sometimes less expensive doing your own. So guess who the first person I thought of? My buddy. So I can go look at that now and go, okay, now I see how I got to prep the ground. He's added value, but guess what? He's brought me into his business without being in his business. He's not shoving it down my throat saying, hey, call me, I can do the best patio in the world. He's given value to me. So create a great story around what you're posting. And as you create that story, people will attract to you. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want to pop back here for a second. Look at the story I'm telling on this post. Like, hey, so my wife and I were shopping. I'm telling a story, right? For some shoes that she really wanted, right? You get it. Tell the story, because when you tell the story, it creates likes, comments, and guess what? You get to turn the likes and comments into leads, baby. And this is the magic sauce. This isn't sauce, this is water, but that's the magic sauce on it. You understand? I'm losing my voice, so I gotta take some water. I'm sorry. Okay. So here we go. Very simple. The master sauce to all of this is to ask questions in your post. When you ask questions, it creates engagement. So think about it when you post something like I did. I just posted it as an example so I could put it in here real quick tonight so it's relevant to where we're at today. Down below, I wish I would have taken a picture now. I asked a question at the end. Have you ever found it? I said, do you know of another app that would allow you to save and get cash back and get a buy one, get one half off? I mean, that type of question. Ask a question to create the engagement. And when you ask the question to get the engagement, it just creates that awesome engagement side. And you never thought that being in school, teaching, learning how to write stories or read stories and things, like how impactful that is in our life today, that when you're telling a story, it really is super, super important to understand that. And so just keep this in mind. That's the biggest part. Okay. Last point on this is when you're doing your business type posting, and I'll talk about maybe a couple other ideas. If I'm doing a business type posting, what I'm not going to do is ever do a call to action. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I'm not going to at the bottom of it say, hey, message me and I'll send you the app. Hey, message me and I'll send you some information. Why? Because now what's happened on social media is people have got smarter. And now what's happening is would you respond to that? Think about that for yourself. Would you respond to that? Because I wouldn't. And it's changed now. So don't do a call to action at all on your post, because then it looks salesy again, like you're trying to sell. Remember, we're going to turn the likes and the comments into leads. And that's what we're going to talk about here next. Okay. This is where the magic, this is actually where the rubber meets the road. Is that right? Yeah. Rubber meets the road. It's been a long day. All right. So here we go, guys. Here's an example. Hey, Susan. Now, again, now I have somebody like my post or they comment. I don't care if they like or comment. I'm actually going to go to Messenger. I'm going to click on their name and it has the message button on it. It drops off the side and I say message. I'm going to message that person and say, this might be somebody that commented on my post about me saving money on shoes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then I could say something like this. Hey, Susan, this isn't typed for the shoes, but this is the idea. Hey, Susan, I'm part of a Facebook community that is focused on helping people save money on all kinds of things that you're already purchasing. And I found a lot of value in it. I thought maybe you might find value in it. And by the way, hey, thanks for commenting and on my post today. Just I appreciate it. And hey, I could add you as one of my personal guests to this community. And I like to review things as like community, not a Facebook group, right? People don't want to be a part of a group. They just want to be a part of a community. It's right. It's all about having that conversation with people. John's right. I just saw John start a conversation. Absolutely. So you're having that conversation with this person, right? Through Messenger. And then you drop this on them and say, hey, I'm part of a group. I'd love to add you to it. I'm getting a lot of value out of it. It saved me hundreds of dollars by being involved in this. And I will bet you 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. When you say, I could add you to this private community and let you take a look around at what some of the people are saving money on. I mean, it's that simple. And just say, and I will be happy to add you. And then when I add you, I'll tag you in a couple of examples of what people are saving money on. Think of it from that perspective and how powerful that really is. I promise you that most people will give you a yes more times than not if you word it the right way and you create that conversation, as John was mentioning, create that conversation with the people through the Facebook Messenger as you're going back and forth. Now, here's the thing. Make sure you add them to the pinned post video. That's the video under our world. When you go in there in the top video, make sure you put them in there so they understand why they're in this group. And also what I would tag them in is our company video, if it's business related, right? If it's just savings related, I might go down to the mall video now that we just added to it and add them under the mall video too. And maybe in a couple other posts. And by the way, we are going to revamp our world just a little bit to help you be a little more specific to savings and ranking. We're actually going to start ranking in one thread, and we're also going to do savings in one thread. So we're looking at making those changes here very quickly. So, but until then, you can also, if any of you know this, on a group, on a computer on the left-hand side, there's a search bar. You can search saving money, and it will pull up everything that has to do with saving money, and then tag them in a couple of those types of posts. When I say tag, I'm saying add them to the group and then tag them by typing in the @ symbol, their name, and then put a little extra text in there. It says, hey, Bob, thanks for connecting again. I got you in here. This is an example of somebody saving money on hotels. This is an example on somebody saving money on shoes. This is an example on somebody saving money on this, whatever it is, right? Or if it's about making money, hey, example of these guys that are ranked up in the first day, they hit their power 3 and they're actually now making money, right? Whatever, that kind of thing. Add tag message is what ATM stands for. Add tag message. So you add them to the page, tag them in a post, and then message them after. And this is where the key principle comes in. So here's what I want you to understand is that when you go back to them, before I go to the end here, I want to end on this. The key is in the follow-up. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? Per se. So, okay. I'm fired up now. I could go another hour. So I'm not going to do it though. So here's the thing. Here's what you want to remember, right? When you're following up with these people, you're doing it through Facebook Messenger. You're getting back to them. But here is the step during the ATM process. When you're bringing them to the world and now they see all these savings and things, the next step is to add them to a 2, 3, or 4 or 5-way chat on Messenger. This is where it all happens, right? So I'm going to skip ahead here. The reason that you do a 3-way chat is third-party validation. It's easy to do. It's increased credibility to what you've been saying and what they're seeing, because other leaders or people around you, people on your team could be on the chat for you. Doesn't matter who it is. Add them to the chat, introduce them to the people that are on the chat. I've done this many, many times where I've added 5 or 3 or 4 leaders, people that are aware that I'm doing this. I'm going to, of course, message each one of them and let them know that, hey, would you do this with me? And they'll say, yeah, sure. It takes literally like a 60-second period for me to hold down the recording button and share my thoughts about what it is that you want me to share, whether it's the vision of the company, why I got involved, how I've been saving money. Doesn't matter what it is. 3-way messenger chats work way better than 3-way calls. I promise you they do. And the reason they do is people can do them on their own time. They don't have to do them right now. You guys with me? So it's really, really critical that this next step, you take it from after you've added them to the page, you've added them to our world, they're looking around, right? Maybe the following day, or depending on what part of the day you put them in the page, it could be early in the morning, then that night you add them on a chat, however. But then maybe the next day, if it was tonight, you add them to the group and now go back to them tomorrow and message them privately and say, hey, I'm going to add you to a 3-way chat real quick. Don't ever message somebody and say this. Hey, do you have any questions? Do you like what you see? Do you want to get started? Do you want to join my team? Don't say that. Don't even go there. Just go right there and say, hey, Bob, hey, I'd love to introduce you to, if it's about business, say, hey, Bob, I'd love to introduce you to some of my business partners. Would you mind if I add you in on a 3-way chat? Don't even ask them. Just say, I'm going to add you to a 3-way chat. Go ahead and add them to the chat, introduce the leaders and say, hey, Bob, this is John, this is Jeremy, this is Ed Terranova, and hey, guys, this is Bob. Bob's a contractor and loved what he saw so far. Maybe you guys could shed some light on what we're doing here in our network. That's it. You guys get me? Drop in the comments right now if this is making sense. Give me some love, baby. Give me some love. Let me know you're listening, because I don't think we have very many people on. Maybe I pushed them away. But here's the thing. All I know, guys, is it works. And I did it for 2 years and developed a 6-figure income on Facebook. 90% of it all came from Facebook. And I promise you, if you do this system, you post 80% content about your family, fun, things like that, 20% business without mentioning the name of the business, without mentioning the name of the product or any of those kind of things, and tell a story 20% of the time like that, you will increase your likes, your comments that you can now take and turn them into leads to put them into a group, which is what we have, which is a phenomenal group with 8,000 people. And now you put them in there and now they can look around, see what's going on. And then you follow up with them and you put them into a 3-way chat and you let your leaders, third-party validation, everything you just said and did. And get this, how many of you, honestly, ask yourself this question, how many of you could bring people to the middle? Can you just bring them to the middle? Can you bring people to the middle and let them make their own decision? One thing I've learned in this business is to not drag somebody into my business and try to push and pull and pry. Oh man, please join my team. I don't have anybody on my team. You just join it. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I'm telling you right now, if you continue to do all the normal network marketing, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't. What works is what I'm just telling you, multi-millionaires, some of them are my very closest friends that are 7-figure earners in this business. They're doing social media right. They're not selling. They are influencing people. They're influencing people. They're adding value to people's lives. And guys, what you'll learn as you do this, I promise you, and I promise you, follow this system. It's super easy. Anybody can do it. It's duplicatable. And I will promise you, if you follow it and to the T, okay, I hope this is making sense. I hope you've caught on to the vision of what I'm sharing with you. Again, drop in the comments that this is making sense, that you're on fire, that you're ready to roll, that you're done pushing and pulling and grabbing. I'm just telling you, I did this training back in the very, very beginning. And I'm telling you right now, that if you don't start doing these things, you're not going to ever get to the next level. I shouldn't say you won't, but the chances are slim. Guys, people are tired of the old way of network marketing. They're tired of it. They don't want to go to a meeting anymore. Oh, another one of those things. That's what you hear. I guarantee you hear that, right? So change your paradigm and change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. So here's what you got to do. Change it up. Do something different. If you're not getting to the level you want to get to, then you need to change what you've been doing. That means you're not doing it right. Okay? If you've been doing some of this stuff and it's not working, maybe look at what you're doing. How are you posting? Are you posting the things you should be posting? Are you doing exactly that 80-20 rule? I will just promise you, if you do it the opposite, you do 80% business because you're so fired up, you're like a little mouse running in. You're so excited, I just want to tell everybody about the mall. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I promise you. I haven't drank any energy yet, and I'm just getting to it. But my point is this. It does not work if all you do is pitch business, product after product, whatever. If that's all you do, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You might have 2,000 or 3,000 friends right now that have been following you for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it's been. And that's great. But I'm going to show you on Facebook how you can go and see who is participating out of your friend group. How many would you like something like that? How many people would like to know how many people in your friends are actually participating in your posts? It will shock the living daylights out of you when I show you how to do this. You're gonna flat out go, what? I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you right now, when you find out, when you've got 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 friends, and you've got less than 1% that are actually engaging with you on a daily basis, you're doing it wrong. And I'll tell you why. You're not being human. You're being a marketer. It's the biggest turnoff in the world when you see people trying to push their business on everybody out there. And I've been guilty of it. I did it for years and lost followers. I lost people that just weren't engaging. And then I had one day a 7-figure earner friend say to me this, Dave, you're doing it wrong. Go do this and look at who on your social media is engaging in your post. And I promise you this, as soon as I figured out that I had less than 10%, actually I had less than 1%, sorry. I had less than 1% of my followers, of my friends that I had on Facebook, so-called friends, and even my family weren't even engaging. You do the math. So what good does social media do if they're not engaging? So we got to create that engagement, right? So John says, Dave and I have talked social media a lot, everyone. Listen every word tonight's training, 100% agree with everything. Thank you, John, for the support, buddy. Appreciate it. Let me tell you, a marketer, that guy's a marketer. He understands marketing. The key fact, you guys, nobody can be Dave Dove. Nobody can be John Johnson. Nobody can be Jeremy Jenkins, Ed Terranova, John Stahl. Doesn't matter who it is, right? Nobody can be that. Nobody can be Carissa Heaps. By the way, Carissa Heaps doing a phenomenal job. And let me just tell you something. Look at what you're doing, guys. Reevaluate, reassess what you've been doing on Facebook. Make sure that it's adding value, that you're really bringing it home for people. And that when you go out and join these groups, you're not being aggressive. Those are just some of the things you can do. Joining groups is one. I was at a restaurant just recently with my wife, and the waiter that was waiting on us, I said to him, I said, man, you're really sharp. And I said, how long have you been working here? And it was at a great sushi restaurant here locally. And I said, how long have you been, doing this? And he's like, oh, I've been doing it for like 4 years. It's like, oh, wow, you must love this because you've been here for 4 years. Wow, that's crazy. I said, you got serious commitment here. He said, no, actually, I'm trying to make enough money so I can start a business. Like, wow. So guess what I did? I formed him, if you know what form is, family, occupation, recreation, and money. And I said, wow. I said, well, you married? Yeah, married. How long you been married? Great. Boom. Any kids? Yeah, great kids. I just sit there and create that conversation, right? Just lots of conversation, just being human, being normal, really taking genuine like in this individual. And you know what? I didn't have any business cards. And that's good I didn't, because it actually reminded me as to why I didn't want business cards. I only want a card when I'm done doing what I'm going to do, which is actually what I'm going to show you next. So what I did is I said, hey, Danny, are you on Facebook? And he goes, yeah, of course I am. I said, hey, would you mind if we connected? Because we might be able to actually find a way to work together. And he's like, well, what do you do? And I said, oh, we have this participation marketplace. I said, like an Amazon Prime, did that same pitch. And guess what? He said, yeah, let's friend me. Here, let's do it right now. And he grabbed his phone right there. I held his phone. He said, look you up real quick. So I looked myself up on his Facebook. Boom, hit friend. I said, great, connect. Hey, tell you what, Danny, I actually have an online group, and I'll add you to that group. Let you take a look around, see what people are doing. But my partners and I are getting together, and I'd love to meet with you and see if this would be a fit. That's it. And get this, guys. I have lunch appointment with him next week. Yeah. So here's how easy it is. It's not that hard. I still am using Facebook even if I'm off Facebook. Because how many billions of people are on Facebook right now? A lot. A lot of those bees are on here. And let me just tell you something. It works. So guys, drop in the comments right now, if you would, and share with me. This is a huge thing for me. Share with me your biggest takeaway from tonight's training, and then we'll end the call. I appreciate it, guys, for tuning in tonight. Please keep the prayers for our very own Ed Terranova and his family. They're in need of that right now. And if you would, please, in the comments on Facebook, drop in the comments what your biggest takeaway is from tonight's training. Let me know that you got some value out of this. Let me know what it is that you took away from this that you're now going to go and implement. And share that with us, share it with me, share it with all of us. And let's see if we can't help you out in taking your business to the next level. Let's find endless leads that we can talk to, endless leads. Just think about the approach that we've talked about tonight to not shove and push people away from you on Facebook. Because it's a easy way to do so, right? And John saying validation chat group, absolutely phenomenal. Let me tell you, use it. I love it, you guys, the chat group, because I can respond back to the chat at my own leisure. And if I'm a busy person and I'm one of your leaders and you're adding me to the chat, I can answer when I can. I don't have to answer at a specific time like a three-way call. And get what it does for me, if I'm the rep that's building the chat together, I get to do this, and then I get to let other people help me out, and I don't have to do a lot of the work and let them do the work, right? So that's the cool part. That's a whole nother training we can get into another day. But guys, drop in the comments right here on the Zoom if you're still on, and let me know what your biggest takeaway is. I'm looking over here on Facebook. I'm seeing some over here, doing more and more human than business. Yes, absolutely. Validation group, brand yourself, share a story, create engagement. Phenomenal training, Dave. Thanks, Refresh. Hey, thanks, Rudy. Appreciate it, buddy. That's another incredible marketer and just incredible influencer. And you can influence people, guys. But remember, don't just do business, right? Always do 80-20 rule. Lead with your family and all the stuff about you a little bit, right? A little bit about you, your family, things you love, and entertainment, humor, stuff like that, right? 20% business, right? Let's go to that. Okay, so what else we got here? I need to use the 3-5 ways messenger chat. Yep, absolutely. Great job, Yvonne. Appreciate that. Dawn says, I need to post more on Facebook, share stories, brand myself, form connections with people on another Facebook. Absolutely. That's exactly. Guys, I love what I'm seeing right now. I love everything. More friendships, not business. See what they say here on the chat here. Learn so much about Facebook. Awesome. Hey, again, if you're new to Facebook, you can do this, man. You can be starting from scratch with no friends and go do this. You really could. You do need to connect with a few people that you're familiar with, obviously, first, to get a few numbers in there so you don't look like you're just some scam. But remember always to be a good human first. Yep, absolutely. That's, to me, guys, that's probably the biggest thing is being human before you're a marketer. That's the honest truth. And when you go out and implement these things you learned tonight, you're going to see activity pretty much right away on your posting. Should I get another site with only personal and no politics? Yeah, let me kind of say this, politics and religion, for whatever reason, it's just like anything else, you guys. It's easy to get in a combative situation. I'll tell you a story. My brother is actually a professor at Weber State University out here in Utah, actually taught, marketing, sales, business. And he always said, Dave, you're way better than I am. I'm, no, not. You're an incredible influencer. But then all of a sudden, when he started into the business with me, my previous venture, he started in the business. He started talking about the business. He started trying to sell it, and people weren't liking his comments, doing anything like that. And it's like, well, that's why. To my brother, I said, Rick, what are you doing? Right? And so he really learned a lesson. Not trying to shove something down. Be human first. Be somebody who wants to be friends with you first. They got to want to be friends, right? If you met a girl or a guy in a bar, you're not going to go, hey, I'm ready to go to bed with you. Hey, let's do it. That doesn't work that way. Not in most cases anyway. It never worked for me. You always tell that you're adding them to the chat room. I always message them privately and just say, hey, I added you. I wanted to introduce you to my business partner. Couple of my business partners, and or if it's product related, meaning that it's about savings or whatever, I might find 2 or 3 people on my team or some leaders that have saved money already that could kind of share some of the savings that they've done. And what I would do, Jeanette, just so you understand, is what I would say is I would let them know I'm adding them to the chat. Just let them know I'm doing it. I'm not asking them to, and then I'm going to add them to this 3-way chat, because they can take themselves out of it if they end up not wanting to be in the chat. It's that simple. And if they don't want to be in the chat, they don't want additional information. Oh, well. And the last piece to that I never really shared with you guys at the end is, once you bring them to the middle and put them in the chat and let them do that, the next follow-up question is, hey, sound like something you want to be involved with? Sound like something you'd like to start saving some money? And then send them your link and you're off and running. So, okay. So with that said, I think I've talked plenty. I'll go back and look at some of the takeaways and stuff like that. Can you do something on a friend engagement, Dave? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, if I have a friend that I haven't connected with in a while, depending on, how long ago, whatever, what I like to do is I like to go to their profile before I actually engage with them, kind of see what they've been up to, when they posted last, if they've been on a vacation. Let's say they've been on a vacation. I like to use that as an example, or their son had a birthday party and they celebrated and they have pictures of it. I would make that comment to create that engagement with my friend through Messenger and say, hey, John, hey, good to connect with you again. And looks like you had a great time in Hawaii, or man, it looks like your son man, he's already grown up to be 21. Wow, that's crazy. And isn't that crazy how fast time goes? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And then that's on text, right? Then I would initially go ahead and go right to the messenger button on the recording. And then I'd say, hey, John, I don't know if I told you lately. I mean, or first of all, I might say, what have you been up to lately? I'm going to form them still a little bit, right? I'm going to form them. What have you been up to lately? I saw that your family went on vacation. I saw you had the birthday party, whatever. What are you doing now for work? Haven't talked to you in a long time. Oh, da, 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 da. They know, they're like, why is Dave contacting me after we haven't talked for so long, right? That's what's going on there. And so here's what you got to remember, right? Here's what you got to remember. Always be human before you start marketing and selling to them. So you got to make that transition a little smoother and not be so in your face, right? But you also can't drag on, or, friending and talking. And you can kind of gauge you guys by the questions you're asking about their family, the things they've been doing. You can kind of gauge what people, where they're at as far as wanting to kind of take it to the next level. You can gauge that really, really easy. And the way that you gauge that is by them, how they're responding to your questions. So if you're asking questions about their family and what they do for a living, what are you doing nowadays? I change it up. I don't say what you're doing for a living. I'm saying, hey, what are you doing for a living nowadays? I might say it like that, right? Or what are you doing nowadays? What have you been up to? Man, I haven't talked to you forever, man. I miss you. Whatever, right? Be human, all that. And once you have that little bit of extra connection, you say, hey, it's so good to chat with you. Depending on how the responses were, I might drop it right there. I might not drop it right there if the response at that point was not engaging. I have a very good friend that just reached out to me tonight that I honestly have not seen a lot of over the last 10 years. And he just reached out to me just tonight, invited me to some business opportunity, just so you know. And I haven't responded to him yet. But what's interesting is I haven't talked to him probably months and months now, at least. And he didn't even create any type of conversation like, hey, how's your family? I hope everything's okay with the earthquakes happening and all this this virus crap, man. None of that. It was like, hey, dude, what are you doing this night at this time? By the way, here's the link you can jump on. Think about that. Just that's a prime example of what not to do. If he would have said, hey, Dave, what are you and Donna doing now, man? I haven't talked to you guys for a long time. What are you doing for work? All that kind of stuff. He would have created some conversation with me. Then it's easy to take that into a lead. But if they're not engaging with you because you are marketing to them, there's a difference between you genuinely taking interest in them than you just saying, you got over here, got this little person on your shoulder saying, hey, just ask him to join. Ask him to join. Over here, you got this person saying, hey, how's your family? What you doing? You got to have this little guy right here run around here and go, punch him in the face and come back over here and go, hey, how's your kids doing? How's everything? And be human before you're a marketer. I can't say that enough. And I noticed a lot of you said that was kind of your takeaway. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Didn't want to go this long, but it's been a great night, and hopefully you got some value out of this. And so anyway, I'll do some more training on social media because I got some great other tips to share with you. I haven't even gone into ways to create massive engagement, and we'll get down to that another day. So with that said, you guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be praying for Ed Terranova and his family. And again, thank you. And let's go have some fun, you guys. Have fun with this. Go have fun on Facebook. Make people engage with you because you're having fun. You're not being serious to you all the time. And don't do politics and church and all that other kind of stuff. Religion, it's another one that just kind of pushes people away. So be careful about how you do that. Okay. So have a great night. We'll be talking with you guys all later, and appreciate everything you do in the field. And we love you here at Corporate. So have a great night.